A push is on to make Barbados the first 100% renewable energy island. The private sector may be asked to help with the beautification of schools. And coming up in sports, Bangladesh spins a web around the Windies.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. The Minister of Energy and Water Resources believes the next big breakthrough in the renewable energy sector could very well come from Barbados. Minister Wilfred Abrams says government is ambitiously seeking to be the first 100% renewable energy and carbon neutral island by 2030. But he says more must be done in the areas of research and development in order to achieve those targets.
It is not enough for us to build on what other people have developed. It is not enough for us to look to other people to innovate and for us to then try to capitalize or jump on the train after the train has left the station. What we need to push in Barbados is the I believe attitude. We need to buy into the dream of 2030 and the 100% renewable energy for Barbados.
Minister Abrams was speaking at the opening of an energy expo at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. Now, more than 20 exhibitors, including solar photovoltaic companies, commercial banks, credit unions, and insurance companies, were on hand to answer questions about the products and services they offer. It's being executed under the DREAM project, which is funded by the Global Environment Fund with project support from the United Nations Development Program. UNDP resident representative to Barbados, Chisa Mikami, says the expo is another way the UNDP has been able to support government on its journey to becoming 100% carbon neutral.
The DREAM project also strengthened the climate resilience of Barbadian communities through the installation of battery backup solar photovoltaic systems at first response locations such as community centers, resource centers, and sports pavilions.
Williams Industries is officially being powered by 100% renewable energy. Chairman Ralph Busy Williams made the announcement on the sidelines of the Energy Expo being held at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. Now, he says corporations, businesses, and factories are now producing more electricity from the sun than they consume. However, he explains why this has not necessarily resulted in cost savings.
The rule in Barbados is that you have to sell all the electricity to the Barbados Light and Power and buy back all from the Barbados Light and Power. So we are selling all of our electricity at 41.6 cents per kilowatt hour to the Light and Power. And we're buying back all that we use from them. So it's not really a matter of savings. What it is that we're saving the island from having to export foreign exchange, and we're saving the CO2 going into the atmosphere and that sort of thing. So it's not all about money, it's very much about the benefit to Barbados itself.
The private sector across the island may soon be called upon to help beautify schools. Education Minister Santia Bradshaw foresees a partnership which could include student-painted murals at some compounds. She made the revelation at the unveiling of a new mural at her ministry's Constitution Road headquarters.
I feel very passionately that we must also now start an exercise across our schools, encouraged no doubt by the private sector and for their support, where we have art teachers and students working together to beautify their school environment as well. Because we have a common problem across our schools where we complain that the students sometimes are defacing the property, people vandalize the property. But I do believe that no greater pride can be found from students actually, creating positive images of reflection of their own Barbados and their own lifestyle.
The Barbados Red Cross is seeking to get a better idea of the number of people who volunteer with the society. Now, volunteers generally assist with distributing meals through the Meals on Wheels program and by rendering first aid at events. President Winston Wave says the Society's work in communities has been generating interest, even though some people prefer to volunteer rather than become full-fledged members. But he's unable to give an exact number of active volunteers.
One thing that we are actually currently doing is updating our database. To have a proper record of those volunteers, the areas they specialize in. But that is one thing we are doing right now because, as you know, as a volunteer, they come and go. So we are trying to have a better idea of who they are and in what area they will be willing to volunteer their services.
Mr. Waith was speaking to CBC on the sidelines of a community engagement workshop. Now, participants were drawn from Haynesville, Martins Bay, and several other vulnerable communities.
As you know, the International Federation, they're always coming to assist a country that is affected by a disaster. And they always work through the National Society of the country. What we are hoping to do through this workshop is to train the community on the type of information that would be needed for us to quickly respond to the Federation, to send information about the type of assistance that we would need in Barbados, and be able to get it to them as quickly as possible. So the aim here is to help the community to help us to help them.
A shooting last night has left a 28-year-old man in serious but stable condition at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. He is Leon Lawrence of Caneville Crescent Christchurch, as well as Britain's St. Michael. According to reports, police responded to a shooting at London Road, Britain's Hill, around 10:15 last night. Lawrence and others were at a shop in the area when they were attacked by several men, all armed with guns. A motor vehicle was also damaged by the bullets and is in police possession for forensic examination. Police say Lawrence has several non-life-threatening wounds about his body. Over the past 8 years, the Barbados Entrepreneurship Foundation $20 Challenge has been a launch pad for several young businesses in Barbados. CEO of the BEF, Celeste Foster, shared some of those examples as she spoke on the sidelines of this year's Market Challenge Expo at Sky Mall. Well, food and recycling themes were visible in the businesses promoted by students. One of the judges, Craig McKenzie, was pleased with the innovation showed by students.
This is my first year as a judge. It's been a great experience. It's great to see all these kids out here putting their best foot forward as far as being creative, getting in the marketplace, and showing what they're really made of, you know, facing people, facing customers. Yeah, and they've come up with some really creative ideas.